Before we go any further, take a second to ground yourself here. If this kind of calm strength speaks to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Stoic Thoughts, because what follows is about mastering yourself, not winning noise-filled battles. Most people misunderstand what a comeback really is. They assume it's about overpowering someone verbally, proving superiority, or being the most aggressive presence in the room. They raise their voices, justify themselves endlessly, and mistake intensity for strength. What they don't realize is that the moment anger takes over, control is already lost. Reacting emotionally is not dominance. It is surrender disguised as force. When you explode, you are effectively giving someone else access to your inner state. You are saying without words that they can provoke a reaction whenever they choose. A disciplined mind refuses this trade. A Stoic understands that authority is not expressed through loud replies, but through composure that cannot be shaken. The objective is not to overpower another person. The objective is to remain untouched by their disorder. What we are doing here is not trading insults or escalating conflict. We are dismantling emotional aggression without sacrificing self-respect. No rage, no mockery. Just a small set of carefully chosen phrases rooted in philosophy and self-mastery, designed to neutralize hostility while preserving dignity. There is a simple rule most people ignore. When you argue emotionally, you step into the other person's chaos. When you stay centered, their instability becomes obvious on its own. Calm does not need to announce itself. To understand this fully, we need to look at a core principle of human behavior. Anger is rarely personal. When someone lashes out, attacks your character, or questions your worth, they are usually externalizing an internal struggle they cannot manage privately. People who feel secure, fulfilled, and grounded do not seek conflict for entertainment. Hurt individuals spread discomfort because they do not know what else to do with it. The average reaction to an insult is defensive. I am threatened, therefore I must retaliate. A Stoic response is observational. This person is unsettled, therefore I should watch carefully. This is why a calm, measured question like, "Are you okay?" is so effective. It is not sarcastic. It is not hostile. It reframes the entire interaction. The dynamic instantly shifts from opponent versus opponent to observer versus instability. Instead of clashing, you are diagnosing. Think about what the aggressor expects. They are anticipating resistance. They want anger reflected back at them so they can justify their own behavior. If you raise your voice, you confirm their narrative. But when you respond with quiet concern, you deny them the confrontation they were chasing. You force them to face themselves. You subtly imply that their behavior is abnormal enough to deserve attention, not fear. By choosing not to take offense, you demonstrate that their words cannot penetrate your inner space. You are no longer reacting from insecurity. You are responding from clarity. And there is nothing more destabilizing to a fragile ego than realizing it inspires sympathy instead of intimidation. We live in a culture obsessed with instant replies. Silence is often misinterpreted as weakness or ignorance. In reality, within power dynamics, silence carries more weight than any argument. An insult is thrown with urgency. It is a test. The aggressor waits for confirmation that it landed. Instead of rushing to respond, pause. Hold eye contact. Let several seconds pass. That empty space creates discomfort. Humans are deeply uneasy with unresolved social moments. In that gap, doubt creeps in. Did I go too far? Did he dismiss me? Why isn't this working? Their mind begins unraveling on its own. When you finally speak, you use a single word, then disengage, and you return to your task. That combination is devastating. The silence communicates evaluation. The dismissal communicates irrelevance. You are signaling that their outburst failed to register as meaningful. Their emotional surge did not alter your direction. You treat it like background noise, noticeable but incapable of changing your course. Those who are comfortable with silence do not rush to explain themselves. They understand their worth is not determined by reaction speed. When you step past an insult and move forward, you leave the other person alone with their frustration. And isolation is where anger collapses. Now pause here for a moment. If this perspective is changing how you see conflict, let me know in the comments what stood out to you. And if you value this kind of controlled clarity, make sure you are subscribed to Stoic Thoughts. Why do arguments escalate in the first place? At their core, most disputes are driven by a hunger for validation. We want agreement because agreement reassures us that our view is correct. We are not debating ideas. We are fighting for psychological dominance. One of the most influential Stoic teachers, Epictetus, taught that life is divided into what we command and what we never will. Our actions and judgments belong to us. Other people's opinions do not. Trying to force someone to think differently is an attempt to control what is outside your reach. That effort creates tension, drains energy, and fuels resentment. There is a response that dissolves this struggle entirely. It is a statement of acceptance, not weakness. It is the verbal equivalent of letting go instead of pulling harder. When you say, "You are allowed to think that," you are asserting independence. You are declaring that your self-respect does not require approval. The other person arrives prepared for confrontation, armed with arguments, ready to dismantle your position. And instead of engaging, you remove the battlefield altogether. You grant them permission to hold their view, not because they are right, but because their thoughts do not rule you. This is not submission, it is elevation. You recognize their opinion as a temporary idea, not a judgment carved in stone. You allow it to exist without giving it authority over your state of mind. When you stop needing to convert others in order to feel secure, you become unreachable, and that is real power. Stay with me for the next part, because this control only deepens from here. Before we continue, if you value calm authority over emotional noise, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Thoughts. What comes next is about control with clarity, not silence born of fear. Inner strength becomes undeniable when your sense of identity is produced from within, not shaped by reactions around you. There are moments when staying quiet is not enough. Disrespect sometimes requires a response, but that response must never turn you into a reflection of the behavior you are confronting. This approach is deliberate and exact. It targets the behavior, not the person. Most rude actions are not calculated. They are automatic responses driven by pressure, habit, or unresolved insecurity. People in this state are not reasoning. They are reacting. That is why a precise question such as, "Was that meant to be disrespectful, or did it come out differently than you intended?" is so effective. It interrupts their emotional momentum and forces self-awareness. Instead of continuing on instinct, they must pause and think. The structure of this question matters. It presents two clear paths, both of which work in your favor. In one direction, they admit deliberate hostility. Very few people are willing to openly accept that role in a social setting. In the other, they acknowledge a lapse in control and an error in judgment. Either way, they are cornered by their own behavior. Choosing intentional cruelty exposes them as unreasonable to everyone present. Choosing mistake forces correction, retreat, or accountability. Notice what you are doing here. You are not attacking, you are observing. You position yourself as composed, analytical, and grounded, someone interested in clarity rather than conflict. This reflects a core Stoic value, alignment with truth. You are naming what is happening without exaggeration or emotional distortion. You are saying clearly and calmly, that you recognize the behavior and are giving them a chance to recognize it too. They are now left with two options: escalate and isolate themselves further, or adjust their tone. Either outcome preserves your composure. You remain steady while their emotional footing is tested. Anger, after all, is rarely genuine strength. It is a display. Think about how emotional outbursts work. A child throws a tantrum because it attracts attention. The noise continues only as long as someone is watching. Remove the audience, and the performance ends. Adults are no different. When someone provokes you, they are asking you to participate in their emotional theater. They want you assigned a role: opponent, victim, or accomplice in chaos. The most disciplined response is to decline the role entirely. Saying, "I'm not the audience for this," closes the interaction without escalation. It suggests their anger is not threatening or persuasive. It is simply uninteresting. You are not arguing their position. You are disengaging from their delivery. You are communicating that this level of exchange does not deserve your attention. This is not arrogance. This is boundaries in action. Stoicism is often misunderstood as tolerating mistreatment. That is incorrect. Stoicism is about guarding your inner stability. If someone attempts to throw disorder at your mental space, you are not obligated to absorb it. You can shut the gate calmly. Walking away in this moment is not retreat. It is discernment. You are choosing peace over pointless friction. You treat the situation the way you would a poorly made film. You leave before it drains more time. If this mindset resonates with you so far, let me know in the comments which idea has shifted your perspective. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to Stoic Thoughts so you don't miss what's next. Using these responses is not about appearing clever or dominating conversations. It is about conserving something far more valuable: your energy. Every time you refuse to engage in unnecessary conflict, you reclaim attention that would have been wasted on tension. You take back mental space that others freely give away to arguments that lead nowhere. The world is loud. Many people are unsettled, frustrated, and searching for validation through confrontation. If you stop for every provocation, progress becomes impossible. Marcus Aurelius, writing privately in his personal reflections, reminded himself that the most powerful response is to remain unlike the one who acts poorly. Matching aggression only multiplies damage. Force against force destroys everything involved, but calm absorbs impact. Be steady, reduce unnecessary words, and when you do speak, let what you say be shaped by insight, not impulse. If you want to continue building this kind of unshakable composure, like the video, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Stoic Thoughts. Quiet strength is trained, not accidental.